6 months ago, we made the ultimate discovery that was Smite Support Sion. We ran around the map creating absolute hell for enemy junglers until we got banned multiple times. We fought tooth and nail for Riot to allow us to play it, and today we can proudly say that we achieved Challenger using only Smite Sion support.
Thought it was Kiana there. How did he get there again? My god, he's running TP. Tilterella is such a f***ing spastic. Dude, is he running to my Raptors now? There's no way that this psychopath is running to my Raptors now. Oh, bullshit. Like, people flame it, but this support shit he's been doing is, like, not remotely bad.
First up, it's important that we pick which jungle item we're going to be playing with. We're going to go with the blue one this game just for movement speed. The next step is, do we want a sweeper or a trinket for the level 1 battle? If you intend on invading, then probably going for the sweeper is the optimal choice. However, this game we're with the Nunu. I see that he's picked the red side, so I cross back over to the blue. He then asks me which camp that I'm going to be starting on. You're not going to see this in your games if you're playing in lower ELO, but all of these guys have played with me multiple times over. So realistically, we know it can work. We're just trying to figure out the best choice for us to win this game, right? We decided upon taking 2 camps each and then invading together to go and take the enemy blue side. Keep an eye on that Nunu. He's taken the red, he's taken the Raptors, and now he is heading over to the blue. So I have to book it. I smite this blue and I'm heading over. On the way over, we're looking at the Tristana and he's playing kind of aggressive. This makes for a very easy gank. This level 2 gank, not many people do it anymore. Not many junglers, that is, but we do it quite frequently, so it's a very easy way to get a free flash or at least some damage down. This time we don't get the flash, but we take the enemy mid laner down to just over half health. Nunu ends up getting caught in the enemy blue side because most of the time it's water. They know what's going on, right? They see 2 smites. We end up in this full-on team fight 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. There is always action with this playstyle. Everyone's jumping around. At the end of the day, we end up with a 2 for 2. On my way out, I'm using my passive to drop a ward on the blue just so we know what's going on. Unfortunately, in this trade, both of our junglers died, which kind of sucks. It would have been good to clean out his jungle. Anyway, you work with what you got. I've concluded that because Lee Sin made it over to the blue so quickly that his camps are likely still up. I was wrong, although I think he may have ran there, then hopped back over to blue. During our earlier exchange, Tristana picked up a red buff and he's using it to bully the Jace. I head over immediately to try and help him. Unfortunately, it's not enough, but I do get a lucky Q onto Tristana, which kills him. I've now got Thresh trapped in the lane with me. Something everyone always points out is that this strategy leaves the ADC in the bot lane to fend for himself in a 2v1. Not the case though, right? A lot of the time, the enemy supports are actively trying to counter the strategy, which doesn't benefit them, by the way. They have no way to gain experience by roaming, whereas us, we can easily take a camp here and there, and that's why you will always see throughout this game, I always have a level gap on the enemy support. While I'm taking out wolves, our Nunu is also taking the enemy Raptors. This makes the enemy team angry, and they overcommit for this. It's such an easy bait. We see it coming. I counter it. More gold for us. It doesn't show it, but Thresh has spent the gold that he's made on a mobility boost to try and keep up with the support, which is me. He's trying to keep up with us, but that's realistically 1,000 gold wasted. He is going to be so squishy now, and you're going to have a tanky Sion support versus squishy Thresh that's useless. Look at this teamwork, by the way. Ezreal hops over the wall and then instantly die. He has no wards set up in the bot lane because Thresh has been roaming the whole game. From that point on, we rotate to the Drake. They have mid pressure, so we can't actually take it. But what we're doing here is we're forcing them to react to our gameplay. They're coming to defend the Drake. We run away for free. They go back, I'd start it immediately again, rinse, repeat the whole situation. I'm running runes that allow me to get extra movement speed in the river, so I can easily activate and start fights with my ghost whenever I want. Something you should note here as well is that look at the Seraphine's level. He's already level 6 because at level 1, we gave him solo experience and Thresh didn't. We utilized that ult to easily clean up these kills, and it is just all downhill from there. I even point out to my team that's why we won that, because I know, like, it's not the first time this has happened. This is just something that happens a lot with this strategy. After we secure the first Cloud Drake, I see in the mid lane that Tristana is pounding away on the tower. Jace actually recalled, and his optimal play here is to take the plating, push the wave in, and reset, right? Can't do that if this annoying Sion comes here and disturbs you. You can see he's half pushed the wave. He's not exactly happy that it's not fully pushed in. He comes back. Once again, we cancel his jump. We're in the situation now where Thresh has used Ignite. They tried to kill me. I didn't die. They lose so much tempo, and Jace is in lane. He's spent his gold. He's full health. What does Tristana do? If he recalls, he's going to get punished hard, and if he doesn't recall, he's going to die. So no matter what, Jace gets some platings, and the theory is that he should have lane tempo as well, right? But apparently that's not the case because Thresh ended up roaming straight to the mid lane. Even though he is in the mid lane, we can still take this rip. We have both Nunu and Sion with 2 smites. Odds are we're going to be able to secure this rift, and fortunately the odds were in our favor. We do secure it, but they end up getting a juicy fight. Obviously, we're not going to be winning this 4v5, so we try to bail the best we can. Fortunately, they do have Tristana who has reset, so I have no choice but to intentionally suicide into them, which ends up netting us an extra kill onto Thresh. So overall, it's a 2-for-1. However, we got that rift. The rift is what was important, because it's going to give us momentum. Straight after that, our team gets a double kill in the mid lane, and they were rotating to the Drake, which, yes, it is a juicy Infernal Drake, and you want to secure that. However, look at the Raptor camp. That is spawning. We should be taking every camp we can from this Lee Sin, because the name of the game is to deny as many as possible. The more you deny of his, the further you get ahead, right, in terms of your jungle camp stack. And one of the biggest win conditions with this playstyle is that we end up with primal smites before the enemy jungler. So if we have 2 primals and they have 0, at 20 minutes we can force the Baron, and there's no risk, or at least there's very, very little risk. That's why the win rate's so high. We're securing all these objectives, and we're forcing them as soon as they spawn, so there's no way to retaliate. Seriously, look at that. You've got a 16-minute rift on the dot. We are there, we pick it up, we get it, and we rotate mid to make something happen. It is so fast. Because of our level advantages, we are just pummeling them. We just got a free flash onto that Tristana, and Thresh gets a little bit greedy to try and Q this brush. I take advantage. Boom. Instant pickup, and we rotate bot to use that rift. However, this is the first mistake I made this game. Well, one of the first. I guess you could argue the rift was a mistake as well. We dropped the rift, thinking this is free. I try to flank around. I didn't pay attention to the fact that Kennen wasn't in the top lane. Ultimately, we end up getting sandwiched and die. This was really bad for our team because the rift ends up getting nothing. All the momentum from it is wasted. It doesn't even finish the tier 2. And if you look at the dragon timer, there is 15 seconds until it spawns. There's no way we can defend it. They end up getting it. That's one more win condition that we could have had. So yeah, big my bad right there. Fast forwarding now through this game. We didn't let that stop us though. Just straight back into the action. We reset, head to the top lane and get a couple of picks. And from there, it's just about me trying to power farm my primal smite. So I'm running around the map, dealing as many camps as possible, and we fortunately bump into this overextended Kennen. He meets his fate, and I immediately get straight back to taking camps. You can see that I'm on 7. At this point, I do believe Nunu had finished his, but I would be ahead of the Lee Sin in terms of overall camps. Someone drops a ward, turns out it is that Lee Sin, and he's angry. We pop the ghost and are able to walk away without too much issue, but what you should be watching is the map. Look at my team. They see that they've stacked too many people in the bot lane. It's really just them angry that I'm taking camps, right? Lee Sin tries to make it over to steal, even though he couldn't, he doesn't have primal. But this makes it a very predictable path. If he wants to get to that Baron in time, I can ult in a line, almost guarantee that it'll hit him, which starts the next team fight and allows us to snowball even further. While this gameplay goes on, let me talk to you about the build. We haven't touched on that yet. I opt to go for a tankier route. I'm practically just building what I would in the top lane. Sometimes I do like to go for the Sunfire Cape first. Sometimes I go for the Sheen. It really depends on tempo. Realistically though, you honestly could build anything. I do think this probably being tanky in general just gives you the most opportunity because you're more on the side of a support, but not really. However, I have had success doing 80 Sions. You could do the same playstyle, run 80 Sion, and I'm certain you wouldn't have too many issues. Same thing goes for the runes. I go for Glacial. Personally, I think it works the best. If you wanted to do Phase Rush, I'm sure it would work as well. We barely survived the Ezreal there. We're sitting on a couple HP, and I don't go back. I'm actually hinting towards the Seraphine that I want to keep going in because she was heading towards the base to defend the Tristana. Oh yeah, by the way, Tristana's practically given up at this point and just perma split pushing. Unironically, it does stall out this game a bit longer because we have no choice but to go back. It's also the safest route. We just gain so much gold from all those kills. You may as well just spend the gold and secure the win, right? I end up killing this blue buff. That's our final point. into the primal. So now I can run into bushes and get a speed boost whenever I want. The blue primal plus ghost on Sion it makes for some funny times, I'll tell you that much. There's really nothing the enemy could do at this point to win. It's just a matter of time until we end it. What is interesting though at the end of this video is that we go through the gold comparisons to see where the edges are, who falls behind, who's actually ahead. So stick around and we'll take a closer look at that at the end of the video. We take the inhib and I ult to secure the tier 2. This is the one we screwed up earlier. I end up getting the solo gold. Pretty happy about that. We spend one more time and we are now on the final push. Something I hope you realize this game about my playstyle is that I am more than happy to engage and be the meat shield, to soak the damage, to start the team fight, just so the ball keeps going. I don't want the tempo to slow down. Whenever the tempo slows down, this strategy goes to shit. I want to keep it going. That is absolutely more than half the reason that you see the supports chase me around the map. If I wasn't pushing this tempo, they wouldn't feel the need to follow me around the map, right? They wouldn't feel the need to leave the lane. That means they could 2v1 my ADC. Instead, they have this feeling that they are losing the game and there's nothing they can do about it. So their best option is to chase me around and try to change the outcome themselves, right? That's the goal. You want them to feel pressured. And trust me, if you don't make them feel pressured, the enemy jungler will. He's going to be pinging the shit out of his support, saying, why the hell are you doing nothing? This guy's taking all my camps, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that's the other 40% of the reason they roam. Personally, I don't think it's optimal to roam. They seem to think it's the best counter, but to each their own, right? To each their own. And there you have it, a Grandmaster game beaten by Smite support Sion. Easy peasy. It looks like we're just stealing the ELO from them. You can see we end up getting honor from every single player because without a doubt, we did the most that game. I don't know if we did. I think Nunu did really good. The enemy top laner chucks out the disgusting Sion. And I'm going to take that as a mean of respect. Surely that's a respectful thing to say, alright? So let's take a look at the gold graph now. You can compare both Sion to Thresh. Even at 3 minutes, we are ahead in gold. We're just ahead from the very get-go, and towards the end, what is that, a 4,000 gold gap. Now let's compare the ADCs. At around 4 minutes, our ADC is significantly ahead already. I'm not too sure how that happened, but towards the end, there is a 4k gap on the ADC, and now the junglers. This one is a lot closer. They're pretty much neck on neck throughout this whole game. That is all that I have for you today. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, you know the drill. I've been pumping out videos. It would be nice if YouTube would promote my long form content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Y'all ain't on this level, bitches.